Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Weird. Just a normal intro. Oh, you thought. Anyway, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to some Forza Horizon 4. I'm gonna go ahead and do a very weird concept for this video. So a lot of cars, obviously for the people that are used to the channel and you guys know what Top 1000 is and stuff like that, basically there's a set of cars that I use for specific events. And this is them. There's a few of them that are different. Some of them I didn't add to the list, like the VW IDR. There's one there. There's also the Jeep Trailcat, stuff like that. There are some other cars, but most of the time, whenever I play this game, these are the cars that I use to do Top 1000 events with, and that means going onto the PR stunts on the game, on any map, and then try to get as high as possible on the leaderboards. Usually aim for Top 1000 because that's what the series is called. But obviously, if I can do better, I'll do better. But these are the 6 horsemen of the apocalypse, I guess. No, but I'm just joking. These are the cars that I usually use the most. So this is the fastest accelerating, or sorry, not the fastest accelerating. That's the Shelby King Cobra. This is the car with the highest top speed. It handles very well still, but this is the car that is used technically to go as fast as you possibly can in the high end. So like 270 plus miles an hour. This should be able to do it no problem on the majority of the events. Obviously, it'll depend on where the event is, like on the road and stuff like that, but that's what this is used for. I haven't messed with the tunes on any of these cars, so I'm gonna do my best and see if I can use these cars for something that they're not built for. This honestly feels like it drives like a normal car. I mean, I'm very used to driving this thing. 76,000 points, that is awful. What else can I use this thing for? I didn't even get 3 stars, by the way. If you notice, you know what? Let's try one more time. I'll try to get at least 3 stars on some of these events. But yeah, this is what this whole video is gonna be about. I'm also gonna try to use this thing. Oh, what can I use this car for? It's good for jumps, so I'm not gonna do that. It's good for drifts. Is like the only thing that this car is like not capable to do well. It is all-wheel drive and it has a stupid amount of power. So that's why it can spin those wheels very easily. And sort of pretend that it can drift. I can oversteer with this thing. 94,000 points. This is awful. It's also gonna be bad for really small sections, really tight turns and stuff like that. I mean, it's very good in a straight line. It's good at handling as well. Some corners, like really high-speed corners, but most of the time, for stuff like this, it's not that great. But it picks up speed so quickly. I guess this video could be somewhat of a little review of these cars. 78 miles an hour. Yeah, this is awful, by the way. This is really bad. See what I mean? Like, as soon as it picks up speed, like, it has a good bit of downforce. I can put my foot down, and it drives alright. It's not a terrible car once it picks up speed, but trying to drift this thing is so dumb that it doesn't make sense. Now this is I think my most used car. This is my most popular car. This thing is good for jumps. It's good for high speed traps, and speed zones. But overall, trying to drift with it was terrible idea. It just doesn't work. It doesn't have drift suspension. It doesn't have any sort of tune that would allow me to... Oh my god, it's terrible. It's genuinely awful for drifting. And that's the whole purpose of this video, is to see how bad these cars are for something that they're not actually built for. And I honestly don't think that this car can even be built to do stuff like this. On jumps, however, it can hold its own. It's a good car. It just floats and floats forever. It's a very good car. Oh, I broke the things there. That's why I'm going back here, so I can try again. I'm gonna crash straight into a house though, but it's fine. Oh, into the tree. Never mind. Okay, let's move on to a different car. Now our next car that I'm gonna use is this, the Dodge Viper SRT10, the Formula Drift version of the Viper SRT10. Now this is a car that's obviously tuned. Even you can even see the toe and everything on the wheels. This is literally tuned for high point drifting. This is what this car is made to do. So this is genuinely only gonna go sideways all the time. It's a very, very good car. It's incredibly, incredibly good. I think for point drifting, this is still one of the best cars in the game. Unless you start counting the little tiny cars like the Abarth and stuff like that that people are using. Sort of exploited. You know, they don't really drive like proper drift cars, but just the way the point system works and whatever in the game. And the handling physics of those little cars. People sort of just use, you know, brakes and stuff like that. Just completely lock the wheels. And then they just sort of slide around. And the game gives them points. And somehow, even with the wheels locked, the car still like speeds up and stuff like that. Anyway, I've done videos on those cars in the past. And I'm not really a big fan of them. So that's why whenever I'm doing like drift sales and stuff like that, I always still tend to use cars like this. So this is what this car is built for. To do this. And it does it so well. It's got a ridiculous amount of power. I think 1,700 horsepower or something like that. So you're never going to run out of power. And it's constantly going to keep getting points, especially with this special setup that it's on now. So, what is this like? What is this like for jumps? Can I do a danger sign jump with this car? And to make it even worse, let's do an off-road danger sign jump with this car. See how this thing handles it. And see how it floats. Because it's just definitely not something that I've ever tried to do with this car. I've never ever tried to jump with this thing. So I have absolutely no idea. It doesn't drive... Oh, it's a bit slippery. I was about to say, it doesn't drive terribly off-road. And I'm right, it doesn't. I am crashing to literally everything. There's so much slip. I didn't even activate the... Wait, I didn't have... How did I not activate the danger sign? Okay, I think it's broken. Is it genuinely broken, or is it just not activating on purpose? Wait, I'm in the middle of the thing and it's just... I am so confused here. Okay, go car. It does float quite a bit. Oh my god. 331 meters. Is that even 3 stars on this thing? Oh, it is. It's not good. It's not good at all. And especially if you try to bring it over to like speed zones and speed traps and stuff like that. Actually, let's do this one. There's like a speed zone and a speed trap there. It's just not gonna go well. This thing is, like I said, it's always sideways. It's built for the completely wrong thing. And now people may be wondering, it's like, why are you doing this video with cars that are built for something different? But it's just funny to see or to try out cars that are completely wrong for the thing that you want to do. And then try to use them. Oh god. I'm trying not to slide here. I'm trying to literally just take this corner as fast as I possibly can. Like I said, it's... Oh my god, it's like, it's always sideways. It always just wants to go sideways. Okay, brake. I'm trying not to oversteer. And it's like, nah, sorry mate. You're doing what I want to do. That's top speed, 166 miles an hour. That was it. So as you can see, for anything other than drifting, this thing is a dog. It's awful. It's got a lot of power. It doesn't have a lot of grip. It's literally just made for drifting, and it's not a great car for everything else. Now our next contender is a very, very special one. This is the Hyundai RS200. Now this car, when this was added into the game, I managed to get myself first in the world on a PR stunt. That's how good this car actually was back when it came out. And then especially with my tune that I put on it, it's honestly a brilliant, very, very capable car of, like, for everything. It's such a good car to do anything that you want to do with it. It's got a high top speed. It handles well on road. It handles incredibly well off road, which is what it's actually built for. But like, its top speed is high, its acceleration isn't slow either, and it genuinely handles well. Like, it pulls in the direction that you want it to pull. It just goes where you want it to go. It's a good handling car overall in any scenario. If you're looking for a car that you can do a lot of stuff with, let's say you're just going around trying to farm, you know, Forza points, this is an unbelievably good car for it. if you just take this car out, this could be the overall best car in the game. There's a lot of different things that this car is good for. It can do danger sign jumps, it can do speed zones, it can do speed traps. This is literally a car that can do anything. If you want to try to get the 3 stars, or like I said, if you want to farm Forza ton points, whenever you're doing the what's the stupid thing called, the meetup thing, whenever you're trying to do that, it's a very, very good car. I honestly can't think of a better car right now other than this this RS. I used to think that the TVR was very good, the Speed 12, and it still is. It's a very, very good car, but I genuinely think that this is a much better car overall for everything. It just handles better. I genuinely think you guys should give it a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and do just this little drift zone here, just because I wanted to show you guys. Even for drifting, this thing is capable. I can still go sideways in it. I'm not gonna get like record-breaking points and stuff like that, but I can still very, very easily get 3 stars on all of these events. So how much do I need to get 3 stars for this? Let's get rid of that and put on those. So drifting right here, 95,000 points to get 3 stars. Let's see how good this thing is. Now again, this is on an like with an off-road handling tune. This is not built for drifting at all. I can't believe I whipped a reverse entry in it. What the hell? I just pulled off a reverse entry in this thing without even trying. Okay, well I got 3 stars on it. Like I said, it's incredibly capable for doing everything. What's its top speed, by the way? I've never actually tested the top speed of this guy. Trying to avoid crashing into things now. Suspension's a little bit soft, but that's okay. It's not built to do this. It's 250 miles per hour. I mean, seriously. Is there anything that this guy cannot do? And because it handles like off-road anything very well, I was gonna say off-road sections, was just like anything, you just rig this thing off-road or whatever, just on any surface. And it's unreal. You can take this thing to do off-road off-road jumps as well, like danger sign jumps. It's a very, very good car to drive. Now we move on to 2 cars that are very, very close to each other. The Carrera CCGT. Oh, sorry, whoa, why did I call it CC? Why did I call it Carrera? It's because I saw CGT, and that usually means Carrera GT. Sorry, the Koenigsegg CCGT. This is a newish car, I guess, compared to the rest of these cars. It's a newish car. This was, I think, the most recent car that added into the game compared to the rest of these, and it's a monster. It's unbelievably good at speed zones and speed traps that require a little bit of handling before you get to them. And that is the exact same thing with the Mozler. I added both of these in just because they're both very, very close. Sometimes the Mozler is better, sometimes the CCGT is better. They're very, very close. There's specific areas and specific events where one of these outshines the other. But this one's all-wheel drive, this one's rear-wheel drive. This I think I've built for slightly quicker turn-ins, so like for higher speed corners. So the Mozler is more tuned sort of like to be the IDR equivalent. So that meaning you know, tighter corners, quick acceleration from a standstill, stuff like that. Now, like I said, this, once you get to it, like to a high speed, it has so much grip. It takes corners like a champ. Once you're slowing down quite a bit here, you have to be very careful with the amount of throttle that you put down. Since this is rear-wheel drive, as you can see, it likes to go sideways very, very easily. Now, acceleration wise, it's not incredibly impressive, like I said, because it is rear-wheel drive. It doesn't really have a lot of grip. As you can see, once it gets slightly higher in the revs, it's like it has a bunch of turbo lag. It's not terrible. It can reach about 206 miles an hour just from the roundabout back there. But this thing is unbelievably good at high speed corners. And I'm going to use it for something completely different. Let's try to slide this thing. Can I get this thing to go sideways and get some sort of points for it? Because I honestly don't think that I can actually control this thing once it starts to oversteer. Like this won't hold angle. The front end is not made for this thing like start to oversteer. It's gonna be so hard. Like I said, it's not made to oversteer. As soon as I get a little bit of angle, I have to counter it. If I leave it for a bit too much, let's try and increase my angle. I got 40,000 points. I'm gonna try to increase my angle slightly for some of these corners. Watch this. One sec. There we go. And it's gone. It is gone. Those front wheels do not grip counter steering at all. They're terrible. A tiny bit of angle, I can take it around the corner. It's like I said, it's not built for anything like that. I don't also think that I've ever tried this thing off-road or for jumps. So let's try to do a quick little jump here. And I'm also going to try to see if I can have any grip at all on this little gravel section here. Especially since this is rear-wheel drive, it might not go too well. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. I'm not even flooring it. It's just such a small amount of throttle I need to use. Oh my god. It doesn't float well either. I can't even get it to go to straight line before it floats well. Top speed isn't great. Acceleration isn't great. But once you get it up to speed, it's hard to slow this thing down. Like, it just goes and it takes every corner perfectly. Now I'm going to move over to Mozler. Mozler, again, is a little bit more, I guess, usable for everything. I can put, I'm pretty sure, off-road tires on this car as well. So I can get it to be fast in a straight line off-road as well as on the road. Now this thing is more closely related, I guess, to the Hyundai RS. It's a very good overall car. I think I can do a lot of things with it. For jumps, it's absolutely amazing. I can get this thing to dip forward, which I'll show you guys in a second. I'm gonna try to drift it anyway, because why not? Drift everything, you know? Oh, my front end lifted off the ground there, so I just took off. Okay, let's try that again. Slightly slower this time. Because this tune that I have on this car is all-wheel drive, I can sort of control slides a little bit easier. Front end does have a good bit of grip that I can sort of push myself out, but it's the same. It's gone. It's the same sort of case as with the the Koenigsegg. The front end is just not made to do any sort of drifting. Like, counter steering grip is not there. I can't have a ton of angle because it'll just end up spinning out immediately. But again, it's stupidly fast. It accelerates very quickly. Once you get it up to speed as well, it's hard to slow down. Like, it's a monstrously good car, this. Very, very good. And I'll show you guys what this is like for jumps. Like, it picks up so much speed so quickly. And it takes corners. It just snaps into corners. It's so good. That's a car. Oh. Oh, and it can do that, by the way. It can just start floating at random times. It's just unbelievable. It's just what just happened. I'm genuinely confused as to what just happened there. But yeah, like I said, even for jumps, let's do this one here, for example. We'll see how it goes. And like I said, this one might not be a good one because I have to actually make it quite far. It does float, right? It does float. So if you want to use this thing for jumps, it does actually float. So it's not terrible. But the way people use this thing and the way I used to use this car is if you brake in midair, it's got that little like weird air brake thing going on. So like, I can go ahead and dip the nose down into the ground. And maybe wondering, like, why would you want to dip the nose down into the ground when you're, you know, jumping or you're flying? Well, in this game, until your wheels touch the ground, oh, it does that as well. It just points itself up in the air. And you can see if I brake, it does this. And again, like I said, with this game, if you brake, unless your wheels touch the ground, you can slide around on your nose or on the rear end of your car for as long as you want, pretty much. And this is very good for that, or it used to be very, very good for that until a bunch of other cars came around and started beating it. Like the 599 XX Evo was very, very good for it. Obviously not for sliding, but like, yeah, everything else, like it's just the fastest car, the 9XX, and it's very, very light as well, so it floats very well. But again, this thing was used for that. You sort of like it lifts the front end up off the ground like that, so it goes even further, it floats further, and then if you start braking midair, the nose dips into the ground, and you just start sliding. And like I said, until you go ahead and all your wheels land on the ground, this thing is just gonna give you more and more distance, you know? Well, that's it for the Mozler. Let's move on to the final car on the list, and that is the Monaco King Cobra. Now, the Monaco King Cobra was added into the game quite a little while back, but it is unbelievably fast car. It is the fastest accelerating car in this game. There is no other car other than this car that accelerates as quickly as it, and it shows. It goes past 200 miles per hour like a rocket. There's a big downside to this car. It cannot take turns. It is awful, especially with the tune that I have on it now. It is terrible. There we go. Let me take a turn real quick here. I'm not even driving that fast. I was barely doing 100 miles an hour. I saw the Mozler driving past this with ease. This car, not so much. Can I take it sideways? It's got a lot of power. If I'm gentle with it, if I'm gentle with the power, gentle with the transitions and stuff like that, and the counter steering, I can keep this going sideways. It's got a ton of grip, but yeah, once you point this thing in a straight line, it goes. And it just keeps going. One second, let me get rid of those poles here real quick. Again, steering is the only downside to this car, but it just keeps on going and going and going. Look at it. 270 something miles per hour. I don't think there is a car that accelerates as quickly as this, especially to 270 miles per hour. It is a monster. It's an absolute monster. Off-road, it's not great. It's good enough that you, like I said, if you drive in a straight line, you can have like a decent amount of grip, especially since you can have off-road tires on this thing as well, like off-road race tires. They're very, very good. But like I said, it's this is good for a straight line on the road. Accelerate as fast as you possibly can, and it can do anything. I put a tractor perfectly in the way. That's what you get. That's what you get for traffic in this game. Okay, where is it? Okay, it's gone away. 270 miles an hour. I can't aim. That's the one big problem with this thing. But yeah, it does float. It doesn't do anything with the whole braking or whatever. It doesn't. You can't get this thing to, you know, to like tilt forward or anything like that with the whole braking, the aero in midair and stuff like that. This isn't one of those cars. This is literally just built to drive in a straight line as fast as possible. And like I said, it floats quite well compared to some other cars. I mean, this is the car that has this fast acceleration, so it gets up to speed a lot quicker than like the Mozler and stuff like that. So even if you do have a better car for jumps, let's say, it might not have the speed that this has to get to the jump. So that's why this is usually recommended for some dangerous line jumps. Well, that's it. That is a full description of all of my cars that I use for PR stunts and for Top 1000. For people that have been wondering, obviously for people that are new to the game, those are the cars that I use. They're very, very good overall. I think the RS200 is the best car to use as an overall car for everything. So out of all of these, if I can recommend a car that you can get, it's this. It's this RS200. There's no other car I think that can do everything that this car can. It's very, very good. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's something a little bit different. I just wanted to show off some of these cars, and I even tried to use them for things that aren't actually made to be used for, like drifting a Mozler or drifting this, or trying to go ahead and use the Dodge Viper off-road and stuff like that. They're not built to do stuff like that, but yeah, I just wanted to mess around with some of these cars, and especially with the cars that I always use for Top 1000 and for PR stunts. Well, like I said, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on social medias. Those are linked down below. And again, that's pretty much it. Oh god, this is so bad to drive. Look how quickly this thing picks up speed. And then the rest of the time for everything else, it's absolutely useless. It reaches its top speed the fastest. Oh, it goes. It's floating now. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching again, and goodbye.